Oh! Wow, how's life? How's life in the DGG, in the big neighborhood? Thanks. Did you see Hassan debating a 16-year-old? I did not. I haven't watched anything from yesterday. How's life? What's going on? Wait. New camera or better light? No, I think all my windows are open, so my apartment is super bright right now. Why the f is it not loading? Hold on one sec. Back to the goon cave. There we go. Yes. Oh. Okay, I don't know why I watched this. Fuck. My brain is... I did a lot of drugs yesterday. My brain is fried right now. What's going on? Israel decided to blow some shit up yesterday. I don't know what all they hit or why. Apparently Iran said they are still not going to respond, I think I saw. I haven't read everything. Where are we? Iran wants to ignore it. Yeah. I mean, they should. I mean, it's all super dumb, but the brinksmanship is pretty wacky. Live updates. Muted reactions to Israeli strikes on Iran hint at de-escalation. Israel has vowed retaliation for Iran's attack last weekend, but the strikes reported overnight were limited and Iran downplayed them. Here are the latest developments. The Israeli military struck Iran early on Friday, according to 2 Israeli and 3 Iranian officials, in what appeared to be Israel's first military response to Iran's attack last weekend, but one of whose scope, at least initially, appeared to be limited. The Iranian officials said that a strike had hit a military base near the city of Isfahan in central Iran. Initial reaction in both Israel and Iran was muted, which analysts said was a sign that the rivals were seeking to lower the temperature of their conflict. World leaders, who for nearly a week have urged Israel and Iran to avoid sparking a broader war in the region, called for both sides to de-escalate tensions on Friday. The Israeli military declined to comment on the strike. Senior U.S. officials said that Israel had notified the United States through multiple channels shortly before the attack. I think I read that this was like within 24 to 48 hours before the attack. All the officials spoke in the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the matter publicly. The explosions came less than a week after Iran fired more than 300 missiles and drones at Israel, nearly all of which were shot down in response to the April 1st strike on an Iranian diplomatic compound in Syria that killed 7 Iranian officials. That attack brought the decades-long shadow war between Israel and Iran, waged on land, at sea, in air, and in cyberspace, more clearly into the open. Realistically, what could Iran do to respond? They already sent hundreds of missiles. I mean, before it was like older missiles and shit like that. Theoretically, they could do a big old fucking response. I don't think they want to, because like I said, I don't think either side wants like full on war. But I don't know what I don't know what Israel gains from this. It just seems fucking retarded. I don't know. It seems stupid, but most likely a move by Israel to say to Iran, we can hit you on your homeland whenever and wherever we want. was that not known before? I mean, Israel has F-35s, don't they? Like, it just seems retarded, but.
You on this? Are you cutting this out? Did you have discussions with Mr. Sharp, madam?
We did have discussions.
When?
Well, this morning.
That's too.
You think because Iran telegraphed so hard, Israel felt like they could take the risk getting the last word in? I mean, that's obviously what they want to do. It just seems like what if Iran wanted to respond now too? It just seems like it just seems stupid. But I mean, if Iran chills here, we're at I feel like we're at basically the same place we were like 2 or 3 days ago. Is it not just them not wanting to show weakness? Aren't Middle Eastern countries traditionally super into that shit? I mean, historically, if Israel wants to live like it's like in the 1960s or 1970s, they can do it. It's just fucking retarded. And if they get sucked into war as a result of it, then they should just be annihilated. I think it would be 100% A-okay. I don't think the U.S. should help defend them. I don't think anything. I think that if Israel, like if attacks like these get you sucked into war, then your country should just be wiped off the face of the earth. And then people like Netanyahu can walk to God proudly and say, well, our country failed as an experiment because we wanted to do brinksmanship with Iran. It's just like it's the most retarded fucking shit in the world. Like the U.S. already told you to shut the fuck up and fuck off in the Iraq War when Saddam was shooting Scud missiles into Israel, trying to bait them in, and they were good dogs, and they listened then, and they said, okay, well, we'll shut the fuck up and chill because whatever deterrence capacity Israel thinks it has, like that's a thing of the past. Like now you have to play big boy diplomacy, and you got to figure your problems out. You got to work your shit out, and just shooting missiles and pretending like you can, do like brinksmanship with every country around you, like you're back in the 1960s, is fucking retarded. And if you can't adapt to the modern world, then die. I'd be like, I don't know. It's that simple. Like, it's that easy. This is just fucking stupid. I don't know.
To state
All right, what is
their
this?
issue on this. Are you cutting this out? Did you have discussions with Mr. Sharp, madam?
We did have discussions.
When?
Well, this morning.
That's too late. The evidence is excluded. The evidence is excluded. I'm going to exclude because I told you that this was going to happen.
Uh-oh.
No. We're excluding that, and I'm going to exclude the PowerPoint that you all submitted. Well, you're not going to wholesale introduce it.
We had no intention.
All right.
Let's be real clear. We did not intend to introduce this PowerPoint today. I personally reached out via telephone and called at least 2 members of the defense team and asked them to call me back. And I would like
But you all should not be identifying this stuff the moment of trial while the jury's sitting in a box. This is the last. I am not going to tolerate this any further. If you don't get together with your colleagues and flag issues and resolve them promptly, and if I have to take them up, remember, I can exclude them. We'll work the weekends, or we'll do a combination of both. So this time, I'm going to exclude those 2 sections.
Your Honor, Mr. Atkins, he confronted this witness with those sections. I last week let them know that we were introducing that.
If the exhibit's not ready and you haven't made no, well, Mr. Sharp's got objections to it.
But Judge, Mr. Sharp can get in and have our evidence excluded every day that he makes an objection
No.
at midnight, and then comes in and says.
Well, then you all should have gotten your stuff together before then. Some of our juries, please. Some of our juries. Have a seat, madam. Have a seat. You better exclude that, and next time, make sure you're prepared.
Judge,
Make sure you're prepared next time. I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm just not. We are starting right now. It's 1:20. So
we have talked to them. We have said we don't agree.
then file a motion and get it before me, and we'll take it up. Both of you all have equally responsibility to do that.
The information they are seeking.
Oh, it's going to be inadmissible right now.
I'm saying, Judge, that you said to file a motion. There's nothing.
I'm not going to have any more discussion about this, madam. I'm not.
Talked to them this morning
I don't.
about that.
Well, you know what?
And I attempted to try to talk to them earlier this week.
Well, then that's Well, that's why we have to.
You notice that the court punishes the state because the defense.
I'm not punishing anybody, but but prior preparation prevents poor performance.
Be prepared, Judge. That's why I sent them what I sent them last week, a whole week and a half ago, 2 weeks, Your
I'm
Honor.
not- well-
And I have asked, I have said I would like to discuss.
Our jury's coming in, madam. Our jury's coming in. Have a seat.
Jesus. What was the saying? Proper preparation prevents problems. What was it? Prior preparation prevents poor performance. There we go.
For what is it good for? Absolutely nothing. And Raytheon stock.
This is 4 months old. Why do I care? Show's at 4 o'clock. 2.5 hours to kill. Fuck, I don't even know what the fuck. I feel like I should just work on stuff. Hassan, what's this auto to?
Hey, what's up?
Hi, what's up, buddy?
Okay, so wanted to go over Dr. K, the Dr. K video you watched 2 days ago.
Yeah, what's up?
So I wanted to state my position. So my view, at least as I've understood Dr. K's position as he's outlined it in that video, my view is that his Ayurvedic position offers nothing additional to allopathic modern medicine. And it's also advocating for the removal of certain things that has led to the advancement of modern medicine with really no replacement. And those are the biggest two issues. So as I understand Dr. K's view, his view is fundamentally that diseases are unique in different individuals to the point where you might as well treat each individual presenting with a disease as if the disease is just its own distinct particular disease. Whereas with modern medicine, there is a generalizability. There is like, okay, you may have some variability in presentation. However, there is some underlying process that's going to generalize. It may be variable, but there's some generalizability. And if not, there's some subset group that generalizes within the subset group of a given disease. Okay.
Okay.
And so what Dr. K advocates for is that for since there is a uniqueness to it's just almost all the way, if not fully unique, you might as well just treat each individual as if they're an individual. Treat each disease as if it's an individual disease. And so he makes the point that, well, epistemically, what would be the best type of study is not a randomized controlled trial where you're generalizing from a group to another individual, but if you were to just have a randomized controlled trial on each individual person. Now, we can all agree that at least the sort of thing he's getting at is true there. It's trivially true, in fact, that if you might as well just say, like, well, if you had a crystal globe to see the future for every person, yeah, if we had some sort of technology that could take each molecule and predict the outcome for each individual, then it's going to trivially be true that you are going to know which therapeutic intervention is going to be the best intervention for each individual presenting with a given condition. No shit. Of course, we're not there yet, and we're probably never going to be there yet. We would bankrupt the country for such a thing. We don't have that. And even if we wouldn't bankrupt the country, that's not the sort of thing patients even want to do. Most patients don't want to be in such a study. They just want to get better. So given that that is off the table, the question is then, what options do we have to select for candidate therapeutic targets? Because the issue is when Dr. K says some things like, well, we need to individualize care. We need to just treat people like people. I'm almost at a loss as to how in touch or out of touch he is with allopathic medicine. Because individualizing care is 99%, if not 100% of what almost every doctor
thanks to the 5
does
gifted
in their
subs.
day job. They see a patient, the patient presents with a given sort of symptoms or whatnot. They do testing. Based on the test, they try some intervention. They follow up with the patient. How are you doing? Is it working? Okay, well, if this is working, if the lab tests show it's working, or if your symptomatology improves, we could stay the course. If not, if it's either not efficacious or if there's some side effects, okay, we'll tailor it. We'll change the dose. We'll change the therapeutic agent. We'll go on to something else. That's the day-to-day job. The day-to-day job of doctors is not, sorry, well, the randomized controlled trial actually said that most people, there was a statistically significant increase above this compared to other interventions, so therefore you should get better. Like that's just not what's happening in allopathic medicine. What randomized controlled trials do is they provide not just randomized controlled trials, but the overall system of preclinical studies to phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 interventional trials. What they do is they provide doctors with a set of candidate interventions for a given condition. That's the whole point. It's not just, so the whole individualizing care thing, I'm not sure what that even adds. This is just what a doctor's day-to-day job is, to individualize care. But the question is, what are you going to individualize care with? Are you just going to randomly select an intervention?
Listen, that's his
The
Discord,
whole
not
point
mine.
of randomized controlled trials that Dr. K seems to advocate to get rid of is to provide doctors with a candidate set of interventions to individualize care with in the first place, rather than just selecting it out of some other mechanism. And if Dr. K wants to do away with randomized controlled trials,
I kind of like the Discord sounds.
what he needs to do is replace that process. That's the process that has led us to get these candidate interventions instead of randomly picking them out of the hat or basing them on scripture or basing them on tradition. What is his alternative? Is it something which he already said it's not? It's to, just some loose correlation from something that worked for one individual to another? Is it based on some Ayurvedic passage or scripture? Is it based on some Ayurvedic tradition? What is his alternative mechanism for generating candidate therapeutic interventions to individualize care from in the first place? And notice that him saying, well, just treat patients like patients, treat individual disease like individual diseases, individualize care, bro. That's not an answer to the question. Because remember, the question is, what are you individualizing care with in the first place? How are you selecting interventions to treat conditions? What are you starting with? Modern medicine, Western medicine, allopathic medicine, whatever you want to call it, has a process to do this. The process is preclinical studies followed by translational medicine and clinical interventional studies. That is a process that we have that has advanced modern medicine to give doctors that list of candidate interventions. And it doesn't have to be FDA approved. Even they've done off-label treatments, but even the off-label treatments have some data behind it in that form. And so if Dr. K is advocating we do away with that system, then and we just individualize care, that's not offering an answer to this question. What are we? If you're advocating we just excise that entire process of modern medicine that has advanced modern medicine to the point where we can do all the things we're doing, what is his replacement? And the replacement is not, it can't just be individualized care, bro, because we're already doing that. And what he's offering is not even an answer to the question. Individualized care, bro, with what? Individualized care, bro? What's his replacement mechanism for generating those candidate interventions? And what reason do we have to believe that that is any better or any more likely to select from, to give the results for these patients that we want to get, rather than the system we already have?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I disagree with any of that. I don't.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay, I just felt it because the way, here's the thing. When I'm watching this video, it's like Dr. K is very well spoken, and he has some amount of philosophy background, and so like this point, I suspect that if I were to phrase it like this, the person what was the guy who was Dr. Mike? Yeah, Dr. Mike would probably want to say all of these things, but I didn't have like the wherewithal to like phrase it that way.
Yeah, that's basically what I was saying, was that it felt like Dr. Mike probably has like a good background on like physician stuff or doctor stuff, but I don't think philosophically he was like equipped to deal with a whole different paradigm of what Dr. K was kind of talking about with the Ayurvedic stuff. So I didn't really have a good toolbox to,
Right.
I guess, like question any of it or critically analyze any of it, which is fine. And then you just started basically like asking questions, but yeah.
Right. So to the audience, it might seem like, oh, this is like all very reasonable stuff that Dr. K is offering here. But no, I just want to make it clear.
Well, also to be clear too, because I keep hearing people say this, and I keep challenging people on this. People keep saying that like Dr. K is suggesting replacing Western medicine with Eastern medicine, or replacing, Western therapeutic techniques with Eastern ones or approaches. But I've never heard that clip before. I've never heard him say that.
Well, he said. Well, wait, didn't he say that randomized controlled trials are the worst form of studies, and essentially they shouldn't be done?
I've never heard that. I've never heard anything remotely close to that. No, did he?
Wait. It's like he said there. Wait. I'll rewatch the video, but
I'll be real quick. Can you you got to turn your Discord sounds off.
Oh, sure. Yeah, sorry.
That's nuts. Why are you getting so many messages? Who's sending you all these talking points? Who is it? Is it the Mossad or?
Well, actually, this was the Julumni IDFGF perk.
Okay, well, it clearly says in the welcome message to turn off your incoming message sounds so these things don't happen in the future.
Wow.
I'll work on that. I apologize.
That's all right. It's just, you're kind of blowing our cover a little bit here.
Okay, no worries. I'll be better. I don't want to demotion in the Julumni club.
Yeah, going from tier 4 to tier 3, not good.
Yeah, no. Definitely not. Okay, but then here's the thing. Like if Dr. K is not advocating for excising the current system that we have, which is preclinical studies to RCTs and translational medicine, and so he's not, if he's not advocating, so we'll do it both ways. If he is advocating for that, that's incredibly dangerous, incredibly stupid, and it's just like, that's like one of the worst ideas ever. If he's not advocating for it, then the question just becomes, what change is he advocating for?
Well, I don't know. I only made it to, I watched like 4/5 of the video. There was an extra 20 minutes I don't think finished. But it sounded like he wasn't advocating for any of it. He was just defending. I think he even clarified multiple times that when he goes to Ayurvedic conferences, he's usually pushing for a way more Western approach or way more openness to critical evaluation from Eastern practitioners. But in front of Dr. Mike, because Dr. Mike was attacking the entire concept of a non-orthodox, I guess, way of approaching medicine, that Dr. K was providing like the strongest arguments in favor of an approach like Ayurvedic, or how that approach could offer more value or unique value maybe that allopathic or Western medicine doesn't
Yeah, so
offer.
that's what I'm interested in, because like if he's not advocating those things and he's advocating how Ayurvedic medicine provides like a better, or some even aspects of it that provide a better approach, I wonder what that is, because I haven't heard anything said from him.
Well, because I think the unless maybe Dr. Mike asks this in the last part, but I feel like the real illuminating question then would just be, oh, well, can you point to an area where you think allopathic medicine has made, or I'm sorry, where you think that like Ayurvedic medicine has made more headway versus like Western medicine? Like what are some outcomes that we can look at where we're like, oh, wow, these people seem to have stumbled upon something here that we weren't able to stumble upon in Western medicine, or that we can't currently stumble upon? I think that would have been an interesting start for a conversation. But
interesting question, but even before that, what the question would be, how is your system different? Because if you're not advocating for excising our selection mechanism, which is the RCTs and whatnot, and all you're saying is we should do something we're already doing, which is individualized care, bro, which we're already doing, then forgetting, even before we get to the question of where has Ayurvedic medicine, as you're defining it, done better, how is it even different?
Can I'd like to just say something here on this front. Ayurvedic shit, and I know when I argued with Destiny about this a little bit, the argument was like, well, you can't, we should study it more. And I was against that idea. But you know what, I'll say this, fine. If you want to study that shit, Ayurvedic shit, fine. Homeopathic shit, fine. I think it's bullshit. However, what I do think is fucked up is using treatments on people that are not recognized as being effective treatments without having those trials and being like accepted by modern psychological association terms within the why can't I remember the name
without doing it at least in a
exactly
trial,
like for instance,
IRB.
you guys would be really upset if, let's say, I was a psychologist and I was treating people and I was like, listen, I have a very different way of treating my patients that come in with depression. I tell them to smash their fucking face against the wall, quit their job, and start trying to fuck their sister. You guys would be like, wow, that's really fucked up. Why are you doing that? I can't be like, well, listen, I'm a practitioner. I believe in this.
I agree this would be weird, but like, doesn't this already happen? Doesn't insurance literally cover stuff exactly like this already, though? Like, can't you literally get health insurance that covers like chiropractic treatments and acupuncture treatments?
Again, one thing that we said on the show before is that placebo effect can help with pain, right? No one's saying that's not the case. That is like pretty much the only thing it's known to actually have an effect for, both short and long term. That's it. Everything else people like to say, like depression or mental illnesses and things like that, and everything I read said that all of the effects completely drop off after 6 months.
Just to be clear on my position, I am against insurance companies covering that sort of thing unless it's private insurance companies that have already made that pre-arrangement. Like, I'm definitely
it's not a good argument anyways, because if you go to see a psychiatrist, if they're a licensed psychiatrist in the US, your insurance is going to pay for it. It doesn't matter if they're there like giving you a fucking blowjob or actually doing it. Like, if
wait,
you go
a licensed
psychiatrist.
Wait, what?
Yeah, but at least they're licensed and recognized as a sort of part of a group that like has been shown in some way by some by this that
what
system
if
of
you're a
actually
licensed
doing something
doctor,
over a placebo.
Yeah, if you're a licensed
least
doctor, insurance will pay for a visit to go see them if you have decent insurance. Like, if you have shitty insurance, maybe not if they're not in network, but it's just that's like not a good litmus test for
Sure,
anything.
but remember, chiropractors are not licensed doctors, right?
So some of them are.
No. Like, well,
You don't think there's anyone that practices chiropractic that also has a OD or an MD?
Much the same that there could be a car mechanic that's also a physician. It doesn't mean that car mechanics are physicians. Like, you could theoretically get the education, but chiropractic and the school of chiropractic and the license for that has nothing to do with the medical system. Like, if you are an MD, it's just incidental. It's not part of the training.
It's the fact has been proven that placebo can help with pain. To be clear.
Right, but
that's not what chiropractors claim to be doing, right? Or what acupuncturists claim to be doing.
Also, we don't have a system where we just cover things just because you're placeboing the pain away. If that was our standard, we would cover anything.
Like me fucking your mom.
No, I think it's not good. I think that relying on placebo for anything is bad, and it's like what all of these fucking woo-woo things do. they all come down to placebo at the end. It's like, oh man, my chakra's fucked up, and you're gonna have me breathe through one nostril and then the other, and then my chakra is gonna be aligned, and I'm gonna do better. That's placebo, okay, disguised as mysticism, and it shouldn't be allowed. It shouldn't be banned. It shouldn't be paid for by insurance. And the reason I gave yesterday is that people who seek this form of treatment are less likely to seek Western medicine, and ruins, I don't want to say ruins, it decreases life expectancy and life benefits as a result. So there you go.
As it pertains to Dr. K specifically, what I find a little frustrating is that there seems to be this Mott and Bailey happening where, like, okay, well, here is your presentation of what you're considering Ayurvedic stuff to be, and it's like, oh, okay, I understand it. It's like, oh, each individual disease is an individual thing. So what the fuck is the point of RCTs then? Because why would there be any generalizability? I get it. So just
Well,
like
there's the joke. What do you call Eastern medicine that works?
Western medicine, yeah.
Yeah.
But hold on, before we get to that, but then when it seems like I'm pressing on that, it's like, oh no, Dr. K doesn't advocate for getting rid of RCTs, even though why the fuck wouldn't he? If each individual disease process is completely different and doesn't generalize, I don't know why he would even advocate for that. What would be the point of an RCT then? But if he's not, but then all of a sudden we're going to this between this Mott and Bailey where it's like, oh, okay, no, he advocates for keeping RCTs, just individualized care, which we're already doing. Okay, so then like it seems like it's just once the pushback happens, Ayurvedic medicine just becomes redefined into what allopathic medicine already is, just not what it seemed to be by some certain audiences.
Just to be clear, it's just me and you arguing here, and we both are pretty much on the same page. Just so you know, in case you didn't know. You know,
yeah. No, I don't think anyone here disagrees. It's
Oh
frustrating.
no, a lot of people
Okay.
disagree.
No. I mean, in
you're
this call.
talking to a
I mean, in this
lot
call.
of.
I'm talking about in this call.
Oh, in this call, yeah. There's a lot of Dr. K fans out there.
I'm sure there are.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
the question to the Dr. K fans listening then is, first off, how exactly is this system of medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, how exactly is this different from allopathic medicine? Let's get that on the table first, so we don't Mott and Bailey this. Like, define the differences. What exactly is it? How is it different? And what exactly is it advocating for that's different from what we are already doing? Because just individualized care, bro, isn't going to cut that.
Yeah. No.
And then what reason do we have to believe that this is an improvement? That's all. That's the first step.
Nothing.
Okay. Anyway.
What do you think? I'm curious. What do you think of even though you're just a skin doctor, so we're letting you really fuck it in your Jalumni Discord application when you put like Doctor of Medicine, and we look, it's fine. I'm gonna let it go, but that's fine. Anyways, listen. Okay.
We do contribute more though. We make
I understand. I understand.
There's more new Israeli shekels on my account. Just saying.
Okay, so in the early 60s, famous study where they had 15 quote unquote neurotics go in, and the doctors all said, hey, we're going to give you guys a sugar pill, and that's it. It's just sugar, and you're going to get better. They told them for the first time that the placebo was being given to them, meaning this is an open placebo. We're not lying to you, right? And of some of those people, some got better. And people now point to the fact point to the study all the time saying, because of this is why we should study more of this shit. And when they went back and they looked at it, the people that were positively affected thought that the doctors were still lying in the first place. But I'm curious if you think outside of that study, if there is a benefit into open placebos. Yeah.
So, well, oh wait, you mean are you asking me, is there a benefit for trials having an open placebo arm?
How do you feel about open placebos today?
Yeah. Wait, that's an even more broad question.
Sure.
Are you asking me if there is?
I'm asking how you feel about open placebos.
Open?
If you asked me, if you said, "Hey Dan, what do you think about open placebos?" I would say I think they're bullshit, completely and absolutely.
Oh, okay. So you're asking me if there's an effect. Okay. Yeah.
The only way an open placebo in my mind works is if I don't believe you when you say that you're giving me sugar. That's my view on the subject of what an open placebo actually works.
Yeah, or well, in some sense it may be defined that way, but or if there's like some hope, like, you know, some cope in the back of someone's mind being like, okay, well, maybe this is the real thing, maybe they're just telling me that and as part of the study, but maybe it's really real, maybe it's really closed. You know, we can speculate on all those things. So but no, I'm not, I'd have to do a deep dive to disambiguate the difference between a placebo effect as a closed placebo effect versus an open placebo effect. But I can tell you the methodology by which I would look for that. The way to do that, because you're also trying to disambiguate that compared to a regression to the mean. Because so some things that are called placebo effects are really not placebo responses. What all they are just regression to the mean effects. And the way you disambiguate that is by having a randomized control trial that doesn't just put someone in a treatment arm, a placebo arm alone, but it puts someone in a treatment arm, a placebo arm, and a non-intervention arm where they don't even give them the placebo. And if the placebo has an effect over and above the non-intervention effect where they're not even giving them the placebo, then you can say it's a placebo effect rather than something like regression to the mean because it was randomized in the first place. That would be the methodology I would use to adjudicate those two different hypotheses.
Do you have any opinion on it right now? If you came to me,
my speculation right now is it may very well be the case that there is something such as a open placebo response. However, my expectation is that the effect size of such a response would be far lower than a closed placebo response.
Can I ask you again, if you're suffering from pain and you come to me and and I'm the doctor here, so you're a pain sufferer for whatever reason, or a depression sufferer, or whatever else is supposedly cured by this.
Wait, I'm suffering or you're suffering?
You are. You're coming to see me. I'm the doctor.
Oh, send me the IDFGF from
okay.
Alumni.
So you've come to see me for help because you're in pain. And I tell you, hey, I'm going to give you a placebo. Do you know what a placebo is? And you're going to say, yeah. What do you mean you're going to give it to me? I said, yeah, I want you to go to a McDonald's and take a sugar packet and eat it, and maybe that'll cure that's going to cure your depression. In saying it like that, they remove any effects of you thinking that I'm lying to them. Like, you know, like I'm not giving you a pill and you're like, wait a minute, are you actually giving me medicine and saying you're giving me a placebo, but this is actually medicine? You want to make me think I'm doing it myself? You take all parts out of it. Do you think that there's a treatment in that? I've told you to go to McDonald's and eat sugar, and that it's going to do nothing.
If there is any residual effect from that, I expect it would be minuscule to the point where it wouldn't be considered clinically significant in any meaningful degree. And anyone who treats someone like that would be doing malpractice, essentially.
I agree. And I think that a lot of things... So, yes, I agree. And I think that homeopathic stuff is in the same vein. It is known to have no effect. It is known to do nothing. The only difference is that people ruin people's lives by preventing them from going and seeing real doctors and getting real treatments because they think that instead getting the homeopathic drop of onion juice diluted 1 billion times is going to somehow do something. And it is known that people who seek these alternative methods are less likely to seek Western stuff. So that's it. So yeah, basically they do harm by existing.
Yeah. The move you just have to be careful about, Dan, is there's this move that once you start pushing back on all that stuff, they start to redefine their position into like, oh no, I actually advocate for this instead. And the more you do that, it just it's not even clear how it's any different than Western medicine. It's like, oh, I know, of course I advocate for RCTs. Oh no, of course I advocate for doing this. I just want to individualize care. Like that sort. Be careful about that sort of move, because then it's just like, well, yes, that gets around the pushback, but the point is that, like, how is your position any different than my position then?
As far as what?
As far as as far as how is their position different than modern medicine? What we're already doing, because we're already individualizing care and we're already doing RCTs. So what's different here? Be careful about. There's a Mott and Bailey move that happens, Dan. I'm trying to make you aware of that.
Okay.
Where the position is being changed, where it's like, okay, well, are you really advocating for just all these untested treatments, like onion juice diluted to this? And like they'll be like, oh no, of course not. What Ayurvedic medicine is, it's not the onion juice, nor is it the tomato paste or anything like that. It's
Well, I know
not
there's
any-
meditation in there, which
Yeah, yeah.
has value.
But
But I
but
think the
that's
other stuff is bullshit.
yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
but moreover, I'm talking about the overall system. They'll say, you may hear, oh, well, no, I still think there's a place for randomized controlled trials. It's just that I want to individualize the care. But a move like that is a subtle change in the position, or at least a change from what you thought the position was, into something that it's not even clear anymore how it's different from allopathic modern medicine as we know it. This whole point about individualizing care, they need to actually show how they're individualizing care in a way that we're not. Because individualizing care in the way that was described in that video is just like the day-to-day things that doctors do, which are not randomized control trials and extrapolations. No, we tailor things to patients based on how they respond to it all the time. So be careful about that move, because there's a move that, and then if they make that move, just ask them, okay, well then how is what you're saying any different? Forgetting about how, if your system works better, what is your system in the first place? What are you talking about? How is it different than anything we're currently doing?
Are you talking about the Eastern medicine shit?
Yeah, because the move to be sensitive to is when, in response to this pushback, they'll start saying, "Oh no, that's not Eastern medicine. It's actually this," and then you get to a point where, like, okay, well, if that's what you're saying, then that actually sounds a lot more reasonable. But then you have to realize that, well, yes, it sounds more reasonable, but that's in virtue of it not being clear how it's any different than Western medicine. So be careful about that sort of move. Yeah.
Sure.
So the starting point really is just say, like, okay, how is what you're advocating for any different at all? Like, how, and before you even get to why we think it should be better, is there any data on it's better? Like, how is it actually different? And is it different? Like, actually look into whether it is different. Like this kind about individualizing care. Is that actually different between Western and Eastern medicine? Why should we believe that? Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Just wanted to get all of that frustration out. Thank you. All right. Love you both.
Love you, babe.
Now you got to actually do something.
No, I don't. I'm not going to sit here and do nothing.
What do you got there?
Just lamps, extension cords, and cord hiders.
Mm-hmm. What did you think of my my comments in the I guess the podcast Discord or whatever it is on did you look at them, like the background shots and things like that?
I'm flying out. Do you know Albert?
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring him out, I think, in 2 weeks, and I'm gonna have him like look at everything and see what he thinks.
How much can we do with some of that? Meaning, like, I mean, we're going to be bound quite a bit by the shape of that room. I mean, I guess you could possibly. Actually, here's the real question: would you ever give up the view in the window, or is that always going to be in the shots?
No, it doesn't have to be.
Okay, well then I think there's a lot you can do with it, actually, with lighting and shit like that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's a whole ass room, right?
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying, like, right now the window, while it's cool, I think it also it looks like shit at nighttime, and then during the day it's like we have to pull down the shades. I don't know. I feel like it's not doing enough lifting. Like compared to Trainwrex's, I don't know if he still has it. View of his windows, that's like something different. It's a huge room. You see like this skyline behind you, and we see like a part of an apartment building, kind of. Yeah, I would give it up, I think. Okay. And make you like basically move the whole thing over to like the other section where we can kind of design everything, I guess. That's my thought. What are your initial thinking thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know. I just have to. Right now, my biggest concern is the audio stuff. I don't understand. That's just a little frustrating right now, I think. More than anything else.
Do we know why it's any idea why it's doing that? Apparently the audio only fucked up part way too, which doesn't make sense to me why halfway through it would go crazy.
I don't know. They're looking at it. For whatever that means, but
so you have no idea personally.
I feel like I have a good idea, but we're having a big disagreement on that apparently, so
So what's your idea? What's their idea?
I'm 99.9% sure that it's a software loopback somehow, but for some reason they think it's like a room echo. But I feel like when you listen to it, it is very obviously like some kind of processing delay on one microphone that's causing it to like perfectly like echo. I don't know, by like 20 milliseconds or 10 milliseconds or something. But they're very, very, very convinced that there's like an echo in the room, which it's just not. I don't know, so we'll figure it out.
Why would that only happen halfway through and at one point and then go away also?
My guess, my 100% uneducated guess. Hold on. Wait. My guess is that I think that what's happening is I think that every individual microphone has a compressor that, or it's got a different noise gate, a different compressor, different software controls over the audio on each individual microphone. And I think what's happening is that when one mic gets really loud, I think that that software is kicking in to compress the noise ceiling. But what's happening is it's only loud enough in one microphone for that compressor to kick on. And since it's a software compressor, there's a little bit of delay when it comes to processing the audio. So it's causing that one to get out of sync with the other two. That's my guess for what's happening.
Interesting.
The idea that it's just an echo that's kicking in when somebody's too loud, I absolutely don't think it's possible. We've been in that room. There's not an echo. I don't think. But because the audio stuff is all software driven right now, I think it's that.
I have a possible thing, and you might say no, that's not the cause, but I'm just going to tell you anyways. Is it possible that like by me like fiddling with the microphone a little bit, at some point maybe the cord came undone and came re back in, or got like slightly jostled, and that caused the effect?
No. XLR cable, it doesn't get jostled. It has a strong connection at the bottom.
I didn't even know what type of cable it was. So.
It's not going to get jostled. There's no way.
Okay.
But I don't know. We'll see. I'm 99% sure that's the... But they keep trying weird things. Like, says he wants to borrow a guitar cable to fix the echo. I don't... Were you experiencing echo since the start, or did it start happening in a later episode? It's anytime one of us gets really loud. But I think that, what's the fix? The fix is either doing a compressor via hardware, so like using a channel strip or some kind of like analog compression, or if there's going to be a software on the channel, the delay or the processing all of them have to be done at the same time. There must be some way to do this. There has to be some way to do this. I just don't know how, but there must be, because this can't be an unsolved problem that nobody's ever dealt with before.
I'm looking in that channel now. What other ideas and thoughts? Yeah, the other thing I said is, well, I mean, if Albert's going to come do set design, it doesn't matter, I guess. But I'll put it out to DGT chat anyways. Let me make sure. Yeah, like in this view, it just feels like you're in a waiting room for a doctor's office. Or maybe inside the doctor's office. It's hard to say. But, yeah.
Somebody set themselves on fire for Donald Trump. Oh, boy.
Really? Do we know it was for Donald Trump? I only saw the live stream from, like, someone was doing something on the trial and they turned around and saw it.
Jesus Christ. Or, well, I'm sorry, people saying there's no motive yet. It was just in front of the courthouse for Trump. Who knows why he did it? If you yell and it gets picked up by Dan's mic, that could add a slight echo. No. The speed of sound travel distance between microphones that are 4 feet apart, it would be imperceptible. My guess is going to be like less than 1 or 2 milliseconds, probably less than 1 millisecond at that distance.
I was going to say, could it be that you would have your screaming loud, and on mine, your scream wouldn't be loud, it would be soft, and it would sound different?
No, it would be covered
Almost.
up. It'd be covered up by the sound of the first mic. You just wouldn't hear the whatever on the second microphone because the first one would be loud enough that it would cover it up.
But it goes away too, right? That's the weird thing.
It's not. Show me a part where it happens and unhappens. The reason why it's going away is because when you get quiet enough on the main mic, it doesn't have that software chain kicking in to do anything with the sound. It's only, my guess is going to be that echo is only happening when one of us gets very loud. And when one of us gets very loud, I think what's happening is because there's software compression, it takes time for software to affect the audio, which is causing a slight delay on that one. And then when it gets sent into the stream, the other two aren't delayed because that software chain isn't kicking on. That's my guess.
Is that would that be an OBS thing or one of the ATEMs?
I just don't have. I haven't dug into the full software mixer thing, but it's probably coming from that. If that's where the chain for the compression and everything's is done at, that would be my guess. It would be that thing.
I think Def G thinks it is OBS, and so I think he has some idea of a way to get around that.
How could it possibly be OBS?
I don't know. We're gonna figure it out.
Wait. You guys said that you heard it when you plugged the headphones into the interface, and we're getting audio right from the DAW. You said you were hearing it there. How could it?
I said I heard room echo there, not the digital feedback or digital loop or whatever.
I don't think you could. I don't think there's any room echo that can be heard on that. I don't think so. I think it's always any kind of echo you're hearing. I think it's always the software stuff. There's just no shot. That room is just not. It's not an echoey room. Or unless you've got a video, all the videos that you sent me yesterday, these were all software, 1,000,000,000%.
When Adam talks, he's got a very a boomy kind of voice. And as I'm sitting across from him, I hear the room echo. When he's talking and getting loud and excited, just sitting there, I can hear it.
Link me the part in the show where you think that room echo is coming through. There's no shot.
Well, I'll have to see if I find a place there. I'm telling you, I'm talking about last night talking to him as he's getting loud. I can hear the echo of the room.
It's not. I promise. I bet my whole life on it. There's just no way. If you hear a little, you might hear an echo, a reverby barely thing, but it's nothing that's being picked up on the mics or influencing the microphones. It's 0% chance. It's literally an exact copy, spaced exactly apart with crystal clarity on one thing. It's not a reverby echo. It's just la 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 la. It's that. Or I can even look at the. Hold on. Hold
on, real quick before I kill myself.
Yeah.
Chat. I'm talking about two different things right now, right? There's one that's the audio thing that you're talking about right now. Kaz EV, shut the fuck up. Second of all, there is a room echo. Both are audible when we do recordings. Period.
I promise it's not. There's no audible
when
room
both
echo.
gates open, you can hear the room echo.
Couldn't we solve some of this by putting all three of the microphones directly next to each other?
Well, supposedly they did that and tested it, and I asked for the audio for that, but I don't think anybody sent the audio for that. But
just put them all right next to each other and then talk into them and see what happens.
Well, yeah, we get the what's it called?
You called it phasing, yeah, phased audio.
Yeah.
But even at that, that's only because there's a software processor that's causing something weird to happen. That's not the microphones. Something is happening in software. If you've got 3 microphones next to each other and it's all the same hardware, the same cabling, the same everything else, there's no reason why there should be any phasing there.
Well, we'll figure it out.
Well,
will we?
We will. It's just been a busy day, and I haven't had a chance to sit with him. So he's got to go to a doctor's appointment, and we're gonna go back, and we're gonna fuck shit up.
What's the theory with the guitar cable? How would that?
He hasn't explained it.
What is the guitar cable?
Oh wait, hold on. He said we're going to plug an output channel into the RME to an input channel on the RME, and use that for our microphone bus channel. Then run that bus channel into OBS instead of all 4 mics separately.
Huh. Okay. Oh, yeah, you can try that, I guess.
All right, here we are. I'm going to make a loud noise. I'm going to talk. If I just talk normal, do we hear the phasing? Probably, maybe, because I mean the mics are all right here, right?
Okay, hold on. Fuck. Where is it? This one?
Start recording. All right, be right back.
Be careful. Wait.
Start recording.
Oh, that was in the video you sent me. Sorry.
Have vodka, you have Kina Lillet, and you have a little bit of no vermouth. It's just Kina Lillet, and then a twist of lemon. That's James Bond forever aged rum, and it's really good. And then we got some Johnny Walker Black, which is
Yeah, this is none of this is room echo. This is software 1,000,000,000,000%. There's not a ounce of room echo here. It's all when I think it's because the main person talking is too loud and the software is kicking in on that mic, which causes a slight processing delay, and the other two mics aren't hitting that processing delay.
forever aged rum, and it's really good. And then we got some Johnny Walker Black, which is really fucking good. Well, it's mid,
Like for this echo to be a room echo, you'd have to be like in a hall, like a hallway.
Wait, I'm sorry. Are you saying this room is incapable of creating echo?
Like this? Yes, 100%. This is like echo
Okay.
down a long hall.
Well, it's When mid, hold on, let me see if I can find something. Give me a second. I mean,
Okay.
your Scotch snobs are not gonna like Johnny Walker Black.
Like if it was echo like this, we would hear it in the room clearly. We'd be like, It'd be like a hallway echo. Has to be a software thing.
They're gonna bitch about it. But then of course we have sweet vermouth, dry vermouth for martinis, Negronis, maraschino cherries. In case we want bourbon is what do you call it? Oh, I'm gonna do this too because I'm also talking to Steven, right? So we got bourbon, 4 Roses, small batch, really good for the price. It's like $36, but it's definitely a couple notches above Jack Daniels, which isn't even bourbon. It's Tennessee whiskey, but I mean, in many ways, it's like bourbon. Also, if you watch The fucking Shining, he goes to the bar, not anymore, and also it's not bourbon. It's Tennessee whiskey.
You consider using a DAW like Reaper for handling audio mixing, then sending it to OBS. Well, this one comes with its own software, I think. I don't know. Is it impossible for the other mic to be picking up sound from the person speaking? Yeah, it is, but it shouldn't be weird. Just because 2 mics pick it up shouldn't cause like a weird thing like that. Hello?
Hi.
Wait, I wonder if I can... Test. Like even here, this is instantaneous. These are 2 completely separate microphones. Hello. Testing, test. But there's no phasing here, right? And even if I turn that mic off, so you can hear, if I turn it up, you can hear background noise a little bit. But like testing, 1, 2, test. It's not that much different. This is with that mic off. The other microphone is off right now. The other mic is off. The other mic is off. Now the other mic is on. It's on. Hello, I can speak up here and shout at that mic directly, then I can turn it off, so you only hear me in this mic. I can turn this mic on. Now I turned off the main one, and I can hear this one. There's absolutely no phasing, no delaying, no nothing between anything right now, even though there's 2 separate mics with 2 separate cablings, one, I think with a cloud lifter, one without a cloud lifter. Like, these are 2, but the difference is for these 2 microphones, all of the processing is happening on my channel strips, which is all done analog. I believe. Somebody can remember.
I don't disagree with you on this part.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't disagree with that. Like I'm not like, fuck, what part of you thinks that I'm arguing that there isn't the digital echo?
The part where you guys are saying that it's like cross cable talk, or that it's the
No,
room, or...
I fucking asked a question. That's all I did. Can you read? I know you're ADHD. Can you read though? I just said, is it possible it was this? I didn't fucking bed down and say it is this.
Okay, I felt like we were talking a lot about it being room echo yesterday. Maybe we moved on from that. I just didn't notice. That's what it looked like. The majority of the conversation had to do with it being room echo.
No, it's not. All the room echo thing is just I disagree with you that there is none. That's it. That's the only thing there.
Okay.
I am working on the software echo, my friend. That is the focal point here. I am just disagreeing with you that there isn't room echo.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a fucking problem. I'm not saying it's a huge issue. I'm saying what we're working on right now, that is the issue, and we're working on that. I'm just in disagreement with you that there is not room echo. That's it.
Okay. Okay. Do you think the room echo can be heard in the microphones?
I do.
Okay.
And that's why I'm saying when the gates are both open on multiple mics, I think it's easier to hear. That's it. I'm not even talking about now. I'm talking about in previous, this issue right here didn't really manifest until like the last week or so of changes.
I think
This
if you
kind of
wanted to
echo.
test it, I don't know how you do this in the software, but you should turn off every added effect, just gain and channel volume, have 2 mics open, and just shout from one to the other. And I guarantee you won't hear any echo whatsoever. You should try that and run that as a test and see how it sounds. Turn off all the compression, all the filtering, all the and just have 2 mics open at both ends of the table, and then shout from one mic to the other. You won't hear any echo. Try it, and then if I could be wrong, then I'm wrong. Yeah, but
Okay. I linked you a video. It's me cooking in the studio. If you go to 2 minutes, 10 seconds, you hear the echo when my knife hits. Now, more stuff has been added to the room since, but I don't think it's enough stuff that it completely removes the echo.
okay, let me listen. Hold on.
$210.
2:10,
Yep.
2 minutes and 10 seconds. Okay, hold on.
Yep. Get that out of there. And then we're going to go for...
I think you're hearing reverb here for sure. Yes.
Yes. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
Wait, what microphones are even running here though? What do we?
Those are my Rode. I can't remember what they're called. The lavalier mics.
Okay. I think that if you're in the kitchen, which has nothing covering the floor, anything whatsoever, and you're hitting a knife on a wood board, you might hear a bit of reverb in this room here. Especially because your Rode mics are going to be a lot more sensitive to other types of noise, and especially because you're like in the most unpadded part of this entire room, and because you're hitting a knife against a wooden thing. But the SM7Bs are way more directional, are way less sensitive, and are in a way more covered, padded part of the room. You've got the carpeting, you've got the table, you've got those side walls, like...
Yeah, like I'm saying, I think it's helped a lot because there was a later video where we have more shit in there, and it does help a lot. I'm just saying, I still think there's a little bit, and I think some dampening on the ceiling in particular would go a long way. That's all.
Okay. Okay, let's see what the mics... Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna go fuck with shit. I love you.
Be careful.
Bye.
Okay. Yeah, I saw it. Oh, wait, hold on. Cops looking for suspect who set man on fire during Bronx brawl. This is a different thing?
I'm supposed to be in Georgia. I'm supposed
That's a
to be
different
in North Carolina, South Carolina. I'm supposed to be in a lot of different places campaigning. But I've been here all day.
Okay.
What do you say? We also are seeing an active shooter. An active shooter is in the park outside the court. We have a man he has set fire to himself. A man has emblazoned himself outside of the courthouse just now. Our cameras are turning right now. A man has now lit himself on fire outside of the courthouse in Manhattan, where we are waiting for history to be made. A full jury panel is gone. We are watching a man who is fully emblazoned in the front of the courthouse.
Emblazoned.
Today. We are watching multiple fires breaking out around his body and person. We have seen an arm that has been visible, that has been engulfed in total flames. There is chaos that is happening. People are wondering right now if people are in danger. I'm looking across the courtyard. There is a man racing to his aid. There is coats coming off to try to put out the fire. We have members of security details. NYPD is rushing to the scene. They are trying to come now. Officers are on the scene. A fire extinguisher is right now present, being put on this man to try to...
Yeah, he on fire. Well.